Hey, I'm Dr. Dave, and I want to say Happy New Year to you. This is going to be a great year. We've got some craziness going on over the past couple of years, but I think it's going to be a really good year because we're learning how to deal with craziness in the world, in our lives, through microdosing, magic mushrooms. And I've been traveling a lot. I want another apology here. I just haven't been able to answer questions or comments from previous videos. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to take a few minutes and actually answer questions in real time. Questions you've been asking me that I didn't get to answer in the chat from previous videos. Let's get into them right now. So first is from Mike Gee. And by the way, thanks for all of your great questions and comments and all the positive energy you guys are sending me through this channel. I really, really appreciate it. You know who you are. So Mike Gee says, hey Dave, are you still taking 20 milligrams of Lexapro every day? And Mike, great question. I know I was taking 20 milligrams of Lexapro when I first started microdosing magic mushrooms, but after several months, I went ahead and in conjunction with my doctor, we weaned that down to 15 milligrams per day. And just today, I've taken the next step and I've gone down to 10 milligrams. So my ultimate goal is to totally get off of the Lexapro. Lexapro is an SSRI, it's an antidepressant, anti-anxiety pharmaceutical. And I think I think Lexapro is a really good medicine, a good drug, but I don't want to be on pharmaceuticals for the rest of my life. And so that's why we're talking about microdosing, because it's natural plant medicine and it does the things that these antidepressants and anti-anxiety agents and things like that do, but it's much more natural and much safer. And also you don't have to do it every day, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. So Mike, great question. My goal is to get off of it. I'm down to 10 milligrams a day right now. Somebody that goes by the screen name of I Will Be the One asks, love watching your videos. How much do you microdose these days? And I Will Be the One, it's another great question. So I've been microdosing for about 9 months now. And when I first started, I had a fairly strict regimen of generally either 5 days on and 3 days off, or sometimes I went to 3 days on, 2 days off or so. I also tried every other day, but it was pretty strict by the calendar, and I'd write in my diary like when I microdosed. But now, 9 months into this, I will tell you that I go more by feel. I don't have a strict dosing regimen by the day or by the week. If you want to know like roughly what I'm doing, it turns out to be a couple times a week. And what I've found is really pretty interesting. So usually during the week, I do a pure microdose, which my microdose could be anywhere from like 100 milligrams to 250, something like that, which, 0.25 grams. But what I've been doing is once a week, generally on the weekends, and I did it today, is I take a larger dose. Definitely not a microdose. That larger dose could range anywhere from 500 milligrams up to 2 grams or so, just depending on how I feel, what I want to accomplish that day, how much time I have. And that really does a nice reboot. I do that larger dose about once every 1 to 2 weeks. As I said, generally on a weekend, but it just depends on what I'm doing. And I find that is a really nice reboot, if you will. It kind of just does more than a microdose. I believe in microdosing. I do microdose, but I think I also started to learn the occasional larger dose can really help keep things in check. And the good thing about it is now, I other than my Lexapro, which I just talked about in the previous question, my goal is to reduce that to nothing. It's great to be working with a natural plant medicine that you don't have to take every day. And also, when I first started this microdosing, I've read and people told me that, oh, the days off are even better, the days that you're not dosing are even better. And I thought to myself, well, I don't really believe that, because this makes me feel so good. I'm going to want to do it every day, except for, building up tolerance. You need to take some days off, but why would I ever want to take a day off considering how great this makes me feel? Well, now 9 months in, I've learned that, yeah, it really works, and you know that it's working when you don't feel you need to take a dose and you're feeling fantastic. By fantastic, I mean you don't feel any sign of depression whatsoever, no anxiety, no effects from if you have PTSD, or it's helping your insomnia, you're sleeping better. And the beauty of, again, the beauty of this medicine is that it works when you're not taking it. So it's a great thing. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, after several months, or after many months of doing this, your body kind of, and everybody is different, but your body kind of, you get into a groove, and you kind of feel when you need to dose, when you can take many days off in a row, and you feel great. You'll get the feel of it. If you're brand new to this, you will see what I mean. I didn't understand this at the beginning either, and like I said, I was thinking, like, I want to do this as often as possible, but no, after doing this for months, you don't feel that way. Okay, let's get right into the next question. It's from Dick Rankleff. Hope I got your name pronounced right, Dick. So upon waking, there's an edge that leaves me a little grumpy, short-tempered, and downright miserable until the magic mushroom kicks in and smooths things out. Has anyone ever tried taking a dose before bed to both help with sleep and what ails you, and then another upon wakening? I'm toying with the idea of taking the magic mushrooms each day because they can't be any worse than the Prozac I was prescribed on a daily basis. Well, Prozac is not all that different from the Lexapro that I talked about earlier in the show here. So thanks for your input. I enjoy our little talks. You just can't hear me. I like that, Dick. That was cute. So the original question is, what time of the day is best because you feel grumpy in the morning and you feel you need it at night to go to sleep? That's a very personal thing. I think most people that microdose do it in the morning to get the effects all day long. And but if you're experiencing some insomnia and you just can't get to sleep well, experiment with it a few hours before you go to bed and see how that works out. As far as microdosing several times during the day, I know that some people do that, but I don't think it's a good idea because, again, you're going to build up tolerance. And same thing with microdosing every day. You said that you don't mind doing it every day because the idea of taking Prozac is even worse. But if you do microdose every day, you will build up tolerance and it'll stop working. So you really, that's not what it's meant for. It's not going to be good. You might think it's going to be good, but it's not going to be good. So again, listen again to my answer to the last question again about dosing and learning about your body, learning how it feels, and just being in tune with your body. And you'll find that you don't need it nearly as much after you're several months into this thing. You won't need it nearly as much. Dick, I hope that helps you. The main point I want you to take away from that is, try it before bed for insomnia. I wouldn't take it again the next morning if you feel grumpy. Just kind of find your sweet spot in there, and definitely you need time off or you will build up tolerance. Philippe says, I am on Effexor 150 milligrams and I feel no effects from the microdose. Still a lot of anxiety, disconnected, and feeling trapped, battling PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Well, we all know what that's about. So Philippe is I think in so many words, he's asking, does the Effexor affect the microdosing? And the answer is yes, it could. Effexor is actually a class of medications. It's not an SSRI like my Lexapro is. It's a selective serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor, SNRI. So a little bit different than SSRI, but not terribly different. Still dealing with serotonin. And any medication that works on your serotonin receptors and deals with serotonin could affect the microdosing, meaning you may not feel it at all. It may not work. You might need to take much more. I'm an example. That's why the first gentleman, Mike Gee, asked me, or Mike Gee, sorry if I mispronounced that one, am I still taking the Lexapro and how much? Because yes, it can affect your microdosing. So Philippe, if you don't feel any effect from the microdosing, you didn't really say in here how much you're taking, but I would try to increase it because if you're taking the Effexor, you might need a larger microdose. I hope that helps. Again, everybody is different, and you just need to titrate and experiment with doses, knowing that the low end of a microdose is about 50 milligrams. The high end of a microdose, probably 300 milligrams, which is 0.3 grams. If you start getting much above that, it's really not a microdose anymore. It becomes more of like a mini dose and even up to a museum dose. I hope that helps you. I hope my answers resonated with at least some of you, at least the people that asked the questions. And that's all I have for you today. I will be back as soon as I can. Keep commenting, asking those questions. Subscribe if you haven't done that. We're building a nice little community here, and let's try to make 2022, let's try to make it a really, really good year. We've got some natural plant medicine in our armamentarium now, so we can hopefully reduce the pharmaceuticals. Again, I would never recommend getting off pharmaceuticals without the guidance of your primary care or your primary care doctor or your psychiatrist or mental health professional. This is not, anything I say in this video or any other video is not to be taken as medical advice. It's a friend talking to a friend on an informal basis. That's all it is. Just trying to help you out a little bit. Until next time, I'm Dr. Dave. Love you all.